That's the wind talking to the wire, or actually talking to the musical fence. They're exchanging words at the moment. What's going on now is what you call bliani winds, meaning they're wrestling winds. Because they're wrestling around, they're playing around with the clouds. And while they're playing around with the clouds aren't moving, they're only going back and forth. So there's no gale, there's no rain, and you can guarantee we've still got more drought, because the wind is only making one sound on the fence. It's not making 3 or 4. It has one tune at the moment. So it means that it's battling with one wind, which is, at the moment, if you can see that it's the south wind. The trees behind you. It's getting louder. You see it's getting louder, and that's because it's dropping. The wind's dropping. When the wind drops, it gets louder. They listen to the way that the wind blows the leaves. They watch the way that the direction that they move and the sound that they make. And they also look to see what animals that are surviving around it, because only certain animals can tolerate the winds, the rest can't. But they're giving you messages, and usually when it's after night, it's always a message to the dead. And signals can also be given to the spirit world through the winds of the night, and especially if they're going through, you know, some earth like wire. My parents worked on Tilbury Station. There was a 24-mile property, so we had to do a lot of the fencing. So the only way we used to speak to them and tell them when we wanted something was we used to send a code down the wires to reach them, and they'd reply back and tell us what time they'd be back at camp and when they'd finish. So we had our own little code system through the wires. The winds blow secret messages into every human being's ear, and if you don't listen and observe those messages, you get caught up in the confusion of the wind. Again, nurrik nurrik. It can be hot-tempered, it can be cold-tempered. The winds can speak. If you do know their language, they do have a language of their own, and it depends on what direction they come from, whether they come from north, south, east or west. If they come from the west, you can guarantee it'll be a message from my old people. I listen to these messages because my old people always have a way of coming back to me, and when they do, their messages come at the end of a wind. Their voice will always be at the end of whatever wind hits me, whether it's the north, south, east or the west wind. Usually if it comes from the west and it's cold, I will definitely know that my old people are sending me a message of caution. If it's coming from the north direction and it's hot, you can guarantee it'll be another message, but it'll be from a family member who's very angry with me. So I know the temperaments of the wind. I listen to them very deeply. I follow every pattern of the wind. I govern, my daily life is governed by the wind, and I will get up before the sun arrives to meet Monkami, her name is, which is the early morning wind, early morning dawn wind. She will tell me whether it will be a good day or a bad day. She will also tell me whether I will have visitors or no visitors. She will tell me whether I will be safe or not safe. And then I'll put her to rest after the morning sun comes, and I listen intently. Why? Because I do believe it has a message to give. if you follow it. And we have a musical fence out of Winton, where every afternoon the wind plays on the wire and gives a great tune. And you can actually listen to conversations. And it picks up conversations. That's quite interesting.